Justin Urquhart-Stewart first, the economist and all-round good egg and friend of the show. Justin, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Ian.
A braces tax, there you go. That's never come up, has it? On the when the Chancellor does one of those, pasty tax, caravan tax, braces, that's what we need.
Yeah, particularly if they're red ones as well.
Particularly, yes.
For most people.
Listen, we hear these arguments all the time, don't we? Somebody will say, look, if you just add a small percentage onto the highest group of people, it will raise £1 trillion over X amount of years. And it's a very seductive argument. I mean, I can see notionally why somebody would advance that. And it's not even going to touch the sides of the individuals because they're so wealthy that they won't really notice. In fact, their interest probably repays itself after they've paid that amount of tax. So on the face of it, very seductive. But I've always, and I was saying this earlier, when I was a teenager, I remember thinking, it doesn't seem fair. And that was always a bit of a difficult argument to have with sort of left-wing friends. They go, fair? He's worth 30 million quid. Of course it's... Well, now, hang on, if we want to talk about morality, then let's really talk about it. And that isn't necessary. It sounds as if it's the right thing to do. But just going for the rich, it might be one of those be careful what you wish for things.
You have to be very careful. Your conversation you just had with Candice mentioned that specifically. The wealthiest pay the most. And you take that very small percentage away, that because it's not a 40 billion black hole, something much, much larger. No. Avoid that issue altogether. Actually go to what are the things you react to in terms of willing to participate and pay more. And the answer is recognition. That doesn't mean necessarily giving them a knighthood or something like that. No, just recognition for what you've done for the country. It may be that your family, you might be able to give them a break on inheritance tax in the future at some stage, or even recognition in terms of what you've done, as we used to see in ancient Rome. You have statues put up to somebody. That would be a bit crass, I think. But areas which you recognise what your family's done. And I think that's very good indeed. And also what it shows is, and you come back to that point you were making about manners, there's a right way to behave. And once some people start doing it and say that's the right way to do it, and they're getting some recognition, doesn't mean stroking their pride, but actually others will say, yes, OK, I too will actually be not against that if I was in a lucky position to have so many millions. But as you discussed earlier, these people have the ability to go anywhere they like. Yeah. And so, therefore, why would they wish to actually stay here and pay more? The answer is because there are lots of soft British issues, which we're quite good at in terms of getting that recognition. Maybe a reformed House of Lords will get people in there who have given to the country, and this is our way of actually doing that. It's not perfect, but it's better than just saying, squeeze the rich again.
Now Well, it's often said, Justin, that I totally agree with what you say, but the counter-argument to that is that the rich people never really leave. They say they're going to leave, but they never do. And they might have a few efficient accountancy systems underway in different territories, or a little imaginative with the abacus, shall we say. But broadly speaking, they're still going to stay here. They're not going anywhere. They love British life, and if it costs them a few more quid, then they'll grumble about it, but that's as far as it will go. And this suggestion from Ben Tippet from King's College, which was commissioned by Greenpeace, suggests that those with individual fortunes exceeding 10 million quid through the parliamentary term would be taxed at an extra sort of a 2.5% annual levy, which over 5 years would bring in 130 billion quid. In fact, you could maybe just do it once. You wouldn't even have to have this ongoing. You could just do it once for that 5 years. All in it together, as David Cameron would have said. Everything gets paid off. Rachel Reeves' black hole of doom gets addressed times 5. What's not to like?
Well, there's other ways of going about it. You could actually be in a position where, say, fine, you pay extra tax now for a short period of time, maybe it's 2-5 years, and we'll give you a break further on in your family's life to get rewarded or recognised for what's going on. Turn a negative into a positive, getting that sort of recognition going through there. Now, if you do that for families, not just individuals, and also recognition where people are, and this is where we've talked about before, and Britain's really good at, starting new businesses, helping to create more businesses, more work. The biggest employer, not by weight, but the biggest employer is, of course, actually the smaller businesses. Yep. Lots and lots of small businesses are getting people earning, maybe not huge amounts of money necessarily, but in the operation, they're paying tax, they're adding to the community. Now, actually encourage more of that, That's excellent, but we're very bad at not funding it, making sure those have more money, more monies to grow. And I'm talking about government money here, but actually just incentivizing people to investing in these businesses for the future. And that's creating a much more stable attitude towards finance. It's longer term, it's helping families, it's helping the economy, and give you some the support and recognition for what those people are doing. And remember, they are quite often individuals, but they've got families around them. They've created extra wealth as well. Just merely taxing them just that one bit, and you just need a few of them to say, not so much I'm going elsewhere, but you're not attracting more people to come in. Come here, you'll be taxed fairly, straightforwardly. And also, come back to that British soft power, was seen to be doing the right thing. And again, that conversation you had just now about manners. Doing the right things as people. At times I get into trouble. I think it was the other day. The usual thing, waiting for traffic to come the other way, and you let someone through and they don't wave at you and say thank you. So I blew him a kiss. He went apoplectic. So maybe one shouldn't be so quite too enthusiastic.
Yeah, we need more people blowing kisses. Listen, it's a big smacker to you, though, Justin, as ever. Thank you. Justin Urquhart-Stewart, for reasons why additional wealth taxes don't really work, they're not really needed, and it curtails investment ultimately.